Good evening, everyone. In the previous session of Global HRD, I was explaining about the role of HRD manager and what type of qualities are necessary for a person to become an HRD manager. So I was explaining basically what kind of contribution a HRD manager gives to the organization and what kind of qualities and what are the features of a person, what kind of personality a person must have to become a HRD manager. In this session, I am going to explain about HRD mechanism and what are the different types of activities which are part of HRD. Okay, so let's begin the session. So as you all can see, these are the different aspects of HRD. See, HRD mechanism means different systems, different subsystems, and they come together and operate as one. And without these subsystems, the HRD department cannot even operate. So mechanism simply here means how does a department, how does a proper department or a proper section, how does it properly operate? And in order to operate the HRD department, they have to include all these aspects. And without these aspects, the HRD department cannot perform properly. Okay, so the first mechanism of HRD is human resource planning. So this is the first aspect of HRD because every organization faces many kinds of changes, whether it is internal or external, technological changes, external environmental changes like technological changes, political changes, changes in economy. So these has huge impact on every organization. And what is the basic element which keeps an organization running is the human resource. So every organization has to plan how many number of people are required within the organization and what kind of qualification and capability and potential each and every employee must have to do their job properly and efficiently. So every organization needs to plan regarding the total number and kind of people required within the organization. How it is used in HRD? When HRD executes the function of human resource planning, they understand that how many number of people are there in the organization and what present qualities and capabilities they have and what extra they need to plan for their development and growth. So HRD acts as an integral part of HRD mechanism because it helps the HRD department to understand the existing capabilities and potentials of the existing employees, and it also gives them different types of ideas to what extent the capabilities and skills are needed to be developed. Okay, the second aspect is recruitment and selection. After human resource planning, after understanding how many number of people are required, what kind of knowledge, experience they must have to become part of the organization, the next step is related to recruitment and selection. Recruitment basically here means finding out the sources through which these kind of people which are necessary for the organization can be found out. Okay, so in recruitment there are basically two type of sources: internal and external sources. Means whenever there is a vacancy, the organization can consider the existing employees uh, for promotion or transfer or any other position. So that becomes the internal source. External means when the organization couldn't find suitable candidate for the vacancies, they need to find out that candidate out from outside the organization. They can they can advertise regarding their vacancy so that people can apply and they can, with proper selection method, they can find the suitable candidate. So after human resource planning, HRD is also involved in recruitment for finding out whether they actually have suitable candidates for future higher position or for any kind of vacancies that can take place in future. If they do not have, if the existing employees do not have those kind of qualities and it will require a long time period to develop those qualities, they will definitely go for external source of recruitment. Clear? And the another portion of the second point is selection. So selection includes all the steps and methods which helps the management to understand the real potential, capability and the level of knowledge the candidates have, but in accordance to the requirement of job. So every type of job, they can create different types of selection process, types of interviews and types of tests based on the job. So they need to find out whether the candidate is suitable for the job, whether the qualification, whether the experience, whether the capabilities of a person matches with the requirement of job. For that reason, those candidates need to go through the process of selection. Okay. After that comes training and development. It is the most important part of HRD because training provides knowledge regarding specific job, how to do the perform the job efficiently, what are the different methods used to perform the job efficiently is being taught in training program. So training actually focuses on improvement of skills, improvement of knowledge, improvement of capabilities and potentials for a particular job. Okay. Now development is a long-term process because we cannot say that we can put a person under a development program and that person will come out after the program completely developed person. No. Development is an ongoing and continuous process, and we can say that it is a gradual process, and each and every element which is taught to the employees, they are not taught everything at once. There is a step-by-step process. So it is a continuous process. It has wider scope, and it leads to overall growth and development of the person. Means the person becomes suitable for not only for the present job but for the future job also. Okay. Then comes potential. So potential appraisal is also very important. Each and every person has some kind of hidden potentials that need to be properly understood, and each and every person's potential must be utilized to the optimum level so that the company can get advantage by appointing that person. At the same time, the employee can also get advantage because when the potential of a person is used properly, the person himself or herself can move ahead in his or her career. They can get higher promotion, they can get higher salary, they can reach to a very high position in the company. So potential appraisal is very necessary, and it is also an integral part for a part of HRD because when they are focused on development aspect of the employees, their potentials need to be identified and appraised from time to time. The employees need to understand what potentials they have and how their potentials are valued within the organization. That's why potential appraisal is also extremely necessary. The next point here says that performance appraisal. So whenever a person joins the organization, their performance are being recorded. Their performances are being recorded, and after a completion of a certain time period, their performance is evaluated. Whether it is after 6 months or 1 year, the performance is recorded properly, and then their performance is evaluated, how they have performed. They can also set a standard of performance. They will compare their actual performance with the standard, and they will see whether they have done better than the standard. If the actual performance is below the standard, what is the actual difference between the predetermined standard and their actual performance? So performance appraisal is very important because every employee needs to know what are the things which they have done properly, correctly, and why they are being appreciated for their good performance. That is very important. It will motivate the employees if they are appreciated for their good performance. And if they commit some kind of mistake, if they repeat some kind of mistakes, they need to be aware about those things so that they can focus on their weak points and they can convert it into their strength. So performance appraisal is also a necessary part for HRD because without performance appraisal, human resource development can never become possible. Because when we are providing training and development programs, we have to record their performances after they go through training and development program. And they need to compare that after a training and development program, whether their performances have increased or not. If increased, to what extent the performance has been enhanced. So that's why performance appraisal, it's like a measurement of the performance of we can say the effect. Sorry. Performance appraisal actually measures the effectiveness of training and development, whether when they are put to actual use, means when they actually use the things that they learn from training and development program in their job, whether these programs have been effective or not. The result of the performance appraisal actually reveals it. Okay. The next one is career plan. Now here management needs to focus on career development and planning. And because as an individual, when we are working in an organization, we are not that much concerned about the success of the organization. We are concerned about our success, how well we are doing in the job, what kind of scope we have within the organization. That needs to be properly understood by the management. The aspirations, the desires of the employee must be understood by the management. They must help the employee to plan their career. They must show them the career path and direction in which the employee must succeed, must move forward, so that they can achieve what they are desire, what they want or what they desire for. So career planning is also very important for HRD because it motivates the employees, it gives them the direction and path, and they are more focused on learning and developing themselves, so that they can go through the career path, and they can carry on with the direction given by the management regarding their career, and they can become successful in the career. So they give more importance to training and development. They are more serious about their own, they become more serious about their own development. Okay. The next one is promotion and transfer. So it is an integral part of every organization, because we cannot keep an employee for a very long time period without giving them a raise in salary or promotion, because nobody joins the organization to be just in one position. They want to move ahead in their career. They want to go to a higher position. They want to become more and more successful, and that comes with promotion and transfer. So that is also an integral part of HRD, because development will only occur when people are given the opportunity to go to a higher position. If those opportunities are not provided, then definitely people won't be interested in the training and development program, and HRD department cannot function properly. So what should be the criteria of promotion? These things must be properly communicated, and they must have strong promotion and transfer policy. Okay. The next one is welfare and reward. Employee welfare is very much necessary for the development of human resource, because it gives them some kind of security. They feel that they belong to the organization. Organization is concerned about themselves. Organization is concerned about the employees. They must have that kind of feel. So in order to increase the standard of living, provide better benefits, such kind of welfare activities needed to be done by the management. Okay. Reward must also be given for better performance, so that each and every employee will try to focus on improving their performance, doing something good for the organization, so that they will be rewarded. So reward is actual the form in reward is actually we can say that it is a way of appreciating the employees for doing their best, and these things, welfare and reward, motivates the employees. They become more and more dedicated towards the organization, and they want to contribute more to the success of the organization. Next one is counseling. So counseling is very important in HRD, because when we are working in an organization, definitely we are working under a huge pressure. We have stress, and we face many problems within the organization, whether it is related to the organization, peers, superiors, subordinates, or even it can be related to the personal life. So they need someone which can give them proper counseling, with whom they can share their problems, and these problems are needed to be solved. So counseling is very important to keep the employees in the right state of mind, so that they can focus on their development, focus on their job. So counseling is also a very important part of HRD, because when the mind of the employees are not that stable, they cannot focus on anything. So to retain their focus, to make them more dedicated towards the job and training programs, counseling is provided. Next one is participation. Participation here simply means to what extent employees participate in the decision making process or in the important sections of the management, or any kind of decision, whether small or big, whether it is having some kind of impact on those employees who are participating in that decision making process. So participation is very important because it gives an opportunity to the employees to state their opinions, give their ideas regarding different aspects. And when their opinions and ideas are heard by the management, they feel more and more confident. They feel that the management is actually listening to them and understanding their point of view, and they work in a better and dedicated manner for the organization. So participation of employees and workers in different areas, different sections, gives them confidence, motivates them, and it creates a healthy working relationship. It creates a healthy working environment within the organization. Clear? Mutual trust also increases. There is the conflict, there is a reduction in conflict. Argument will be there, but it will not create such kind of situation which will lead to lockdown, or we can say strike and all that. Yeah. And the next one is quality of work life and quality circles. So in order to motivate the employees, encourage them to give their ideas, quality circles are created where a group of people discuss about a problem, discuss about a situation, try to improve the quality in terms of their performance, in terms of even in terms of a product. So that is also provided under HRD mechanism. And quality of work life, they also need to focus in improving their standard in terms of working life. They need to provide all kinds of facilities to the employees so that they can work within a good, healthy working environment. So that will improve the quality of work life. They will be more satisfied with the job. They will be more satisfied with the environment within which they are working. So this is also a very important part of HRD mechanism. And the next one is grievance handling. So like I said, when we are working in an organization, definitely we will have many kinds of problems, whether related to a peer, superior, colleagues. It means any kind, even if they don't have any kind of facility. For example, when you're working in a office, extremely, you don't even have sufficient space to keep your things. So that also increases irritation and frustration. So these are some kinds of problems, grievances, which are need to be heard, which are need to be managed by the organization, by the management. So HRD mechanism also includes handling of grievances, so the employees do not have many problems, do not face many problems while doing their job. So grievance handling is also a very important and crucial part of HRD mechanism. The next point is communication. Communication here means the organization must have a two-way communication. They should not follow only like giving orders to the subordinates and they have to blindly follow what kinds of order they have. There must be proper communication so that the misunderstandings, the conflicts can be reduced. The ideas, opinions, the feedback of the employees must be heard by the management. So communication is also a part of HRD mechanism, because it increases the quality of HRD programs. It makes the HRD programs more and more effective. Here, if everything is communicated properly to the employees regarding the benefit of the program or regarding any kind of introduction of any kind of new changes, technological changes, if they introduce some kind of new methods for doing job. So it must be properly communicated to reduce confusion, to reduce conflict, and it helps in smooth functioning of the organization. The next one is job redesign. Now with changing time, with increase in complexity of the organization, job needs to be modified after some time. Duties can be added, the job specification can be changed. So this job redesigning is very important. According to the present situation, changing working environment, external environment, major changes in policies, needs, it becomes, sorry, It makes it necessary for the organization to redesign the job. And when this happens, the people who are actually on the job, they are more confused, they do not accept these kind of changes. So job redesigning is essential for development and growth purpose of the employees. They need to do more kind of work, they need to do complicated work, they need to face different kinds of challenges so that they can understand it, they can learn something from it, and they can also help themselves in their career. Okay, so these are the important subsystems or HRD mechanism which actually create the HRD department. So these, each and every point is extremely necessary for HRD department for making HRD more and more successful. Now there is another topic which is called HRD activities. So these points which I have already explained in HRD mechanism, see, these are very similar. HRD mechanism, HRD activities, and HRD subsystems. They almost have similar points. HRD activities means what kind of different activities performed under the HRD aspect. So these are the activities which are performed under HRD only. But there are few extra points which again I am going to explain so that you will have clear idea. So here you can see that the points under HRD mechanism are completely similar to the points under HRD activity. But there are two more points: executive development and organizational change. So executive development means one of the important activities of HRD is the development of the higher people in working in higher position, whether like top level executives, managerial level executives. They need to also develop so that they can manage the organization in a better way. So they will contribute to the overall development of the organization. So executive development includes different types of methods and techniques which will help the executives to get training and development, and they can learn to become a better manager, they can learn to become a better executive for the organization. So this is one of the points which is added in HRD activities. The next one is organizational change. So every organization needs to make necessary changes within the organization depending upon the various external factors. And if they do not include such kind of changes, then they will be behind their competitors. The competitors will move ahead and they will be stuck behind. So organizational change is very important for HRD activities, because when any kind of change takes place, the first the impact of organizational change is completely on the employees. And when any kind of organizational change takes place, the employees are needed to be trained properly so that they can understand the change properly, they can cope up with such kind of changes, and they can understand what extra they need to learn so that they can accept the change, they can work in a different manner so that the change can become successful. Okay, so these are the different aspects of HRD activities. So organizational change not only helps the employees to learn something different, but it also makes necessary changes in the organizational climate. So when they have better understanding about different aspects of the organization, they can understand it. If they understand it in a different manner, in a better manner, it will be reflected in their performance. So organizational change brings many kind of changes, whether it is related to the climate, whether it is related to any kind of introduction of new elements into the organization, methods, techniques, technological changes, rules and regulations, policies. So it brings a lot of change, and HRD, it is an essential part of HRD activity, because with those kind of change, the human resource actually gets an opportunity to learn and develop so that they can contribute to the organization in a much better manner. Okay, so in this session, I have explained about HRD mechanism and HRD activities. These two parts are very important from the point of view of this subject. And when I will teach you HRD subsystem, which is a part of your third unit, you will almost have similar points with this. So the portion is very easy. You have to just repeat the same things for these three aspects: mechanism, activities, and subsystems. Okay. So in the next session, I'm going to explain the last topic of the second unit. It is called HRD philosophy. So I will explain what is HRD philosophy, what is the need of HRD philosophy, and various other aspects of HRD philosophy. Okay. So that's it for today. We will meet in the next session. Thank you.